Welcome back to Master 79. In this lesson, we are going to work through a complete ielts academic writing task 1 from a blank page to a finished Band 9 standard answer. The task type today is a process diagram, and the process is a simple water filter. We will look carefully at the diagram, brainstorm it together, plan the 4 paragraphs, and then write the whole thing out. Here is the question. The diagram below shows how a simple water filter is constructed and how it functions to produce clean drinking water. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features, and make comparisons where relevant. 2 words in that prompt matter enormously: constructed and functions. The examiner is asking for 2 things: what the filter is made of, and what actually happens inside it. A weak answer describes only one of them. Take a good look. On the left there is a large barrel with a removable lid. Impure water is poured in by hand at the top. Inside the barrel there are 3 layers of filtering material, stacked one above the other: sand at the top, then a thin band of charcoal, and gravel at the bottom. A hose runs from the base of the barrel, up the inside, out through the side wall, and then down into a second, smaller barrel on the right. That second barrel is the drinking water storage tank, and it has a tap near the bottom. Before writing a single word, ask 3 questions. Where does the process begin, and where does it end? How many stages are there? And is it a cycle or a straight line? For this diagram, the answers are clear. It begins when impure water is poured in, and it ends when clean water is drawn from the tap. There are roughly 6 stages spread across 2 containers, and it is linear, not a cycle, because nothing ever returns to the starting point. Those 3 answers are, in effect, your overview paragraph already written. Now let us brainstorm. The cleanest way to organize a 2-container process is to split it by container. In the first container, the filter, 4 things happen. Impure water is poured in by hand. It passes down through sand, which is the thickest layer, then through a narrow band of charcoal, and finally through gravel at the base. In the second container, the storage tank, 4 more things happen. Water enters the mouth of the hose. The hose leaves the filter through the side wall. It feeds down into the smaller barrel, and the water is drawn off for drinking through a tap. That split gives you 2 body paragraphs immediately. The second half of brainstorming is language, and for a process diagram that means 2 things: sequences and the passive voice. Vary your sequences at the outset. Following this, subsequently, once the water has passed through, in the final stage. If every sentence starts with then, your coherence score suffers. And use the passive because in a process the agent almost never matters. Is poured, is filtered, is positioned, is fitted, is transferred, is drawn off. Notice that we say the water is poured, not somebody pours the water. The process itself is the subject. Here is the plan. 4 paragraphs every single time. Paragraph 1, the introduction, paraphrases the prompt. Never copy the question word for word, because copied language is not counted towards your word total. Paragraph 2 is the overview, and this is the paragraph that decides whether you can reach band 7 or above at all. It gives the big picture. The process is linear. It is manual. There are 2 containers and 3 filtering layers. Crucially, the overview carries no specific detail. Paragraph 3 covers what happens inside the filter. Paragraph 4 covers the transfer to the tank and the final tap. That is it. Paragraph 1. The diagram illustrates the way in which a simple, Gravity-fed water filter is assembled and shows how it converts contaminated water into water that is safe to drink. Look at the paraphrasing. Shows how becomes illustrates the way in which clean drinking water becomes water that is safe to drink. And gravity-fed is a detail I took from the diagram, not from the question, which shows the examiner that I have actually understood the picture. Paragraph 2. The overview. Overall, the process is a straightforward, manually operated sequence which requires no electricity. Untreated water is poured into a large barrel, descends through 3 separate beds of natural filtering material, and is then piped into a second container from which it can be drawn off. Notice what is missing. There is no mention of sand or charcoal or the tap. The overview carries no specific detail by design. It is the view from above. Paragraph 3. At the outset, impure water is poured by hand into the open top of a large barrel fitted with a removable lid. Inside this container, the water travels downwards under gravity through 3 horizontal layers of material. The uppermost and thickest of these is sand, beneath which lies a considerably narrower band of charcoal, while the coarsest material, gravel, is positioned at the very bottom. The prompt asked for comparisons, and here they are, built straight into the description: thickest, narrower, coarsest. Paragraph 4. Once the water has percolated through the gravel, it enters the open mouth of a hose set into the base of the filter. This pipe runs vertically up the inside of the barrel and exits through the side wall before curving downwards and feeding into a second, smaller barrel which serves as the drinking water storage tank. In the final stage, the purified water is held in this tank until it is released for consumption through a tap fixed near its base. The process is closed properly. We started at the pouring, and we finish at the tap. So why would this answer score at Band 9 standard? Task achievement. Both halves of the prompt are covered. Construction and function. There is a clear overview, and the comparisons the question asked for are there. Coherence and cohesion. 4 purposeful paragraphs with varied sequencing and no mechanical repetition. Lexical resource. Precise process vocabulary such as percolated, gravity-fed, beds of material, set into, drawn off, and coarsest. And grammatical range, passives throughout, relative clauses, an inverted clause beneath which lies, and complex subordination, all of it error-free. One honest note, and we say this on every video: Band 9 here is our own assessment of writing quality against the public ielts band descriptors. It is not a certified examiner score. Now it is your turn. Cover the model answer, set a timer for 20 minutes, and write your own response to this diagram. Then check 3 things. Is there a genuine overview paragraph? Have you used the passive voice? And have you made the comparisons the question asked for? After that, compare your answer with ours, sentence by sentence. That comparison is where the real learning happens. Thanks for watching BMaster 79 and subscribe for the rest of the Task 1 series.